Welcome to King Says So, a channel that advocates for one Africa, one land, one Africa, one language, one Africa, one currency, one Africa, one army. I wish to witness Africans all around the world united as one in our lifetime. Enjoy.
Malema is the biggest puppet in this country who represent the interest of those who want to deal with what we call ANC majoritarian. I defended him when I was minister, and the president who was in charge, which was Jacob Zuma, didn't want him. I went with a ministerial position to defend him at the DC of the ANC. And then today he says, I'm about himself. An example of me being about myself, it's him. Because I stood with him in darkness and in difficult times. And I said to the ANC, don't expel this boy. And then they expelled him. I stood with him. And their comrades who are flirting with him about our organization. That's what makes him think that.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Imalene. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on King Said So, your political space, your Pan-African space, your African love space, your everything that has to do with progressing Africans all over around the world. So right now I've changed the location. As you can see, I'm somewhere in Springbok. I had to drive through Van Rens Pass. It was a scary drive, I tell you, but we made it through God's grace. And now I'm in Springbok. I'll be here for some few days. So ladies and gentlemen, today I want to cover the beef between or the tension or what is happening between Fikile Mbalula and Julius Malema. I am a little bit late because they have been going at each other for some time, but I decided not to cover it at that time so that I can make this video right now. And I wanted to explain something to you guys. I started with the video of Fikile Mbalula. Fikile Mbalula it's people that, how do I describe Fikile Mbalula? Fikile Mbalula is a good politician. But other politicians, for example, in a soccer team, you have a captain, you have a natural leader who is not the captain, and then you have the superstar, and then you have, so Fikile Mbalula, for me, he is not supposed to be in a place where he is the highest authority, like the Secretary General of the ANC. No, for me, he plays his game of politics very well in the background. In the forefront, for me, he's a person that I think does not know exactly what to do with power. When Fikile Mbalula was in the portfolio of Minister of Sports, Fikile Mbalula was doing great. Even though some people felt like Fikile Mbalula was now outshining the portfolio itself, it was more about him. But there was more progress on the sports and art and culture sector because of Fikile Mbalula. I like his energy when it comes to the type of work that he puts in when he's given a ministry. Yes, he has some other ministries that he was given and he failed. But for me, Fikile Mbalula, he's a background player who can make noise from the back and support the main leader. When we come to Julius Malema is a born leader. And you must understand that Fikile Mbalula and Julius Malema go way back. Way back. They basically grew in the ANC together, from the youth league to building up, coming up the structures of the ANC. Fikile Mbalula was the president of the youth league. Julius Malema was the president of the youth league. So these people, they know each other very well. So right now, I just want to play a short clip of how Julius Malema describes Fikile Mbalula, and I'll come back with some commentary.
And Fikile Mbalula has been your real nemesis this year politically since he became the Secretary General of the ANC in December. Where does that beef, if I'm to call it that, come from? Because, I mean, others would assume that perhaps, as you just said now, that you will put your name up for president. He himself has presidential ambitions. Is it about that? About who becomes president first between the two of you?
No, Mbalula uses people. There are so many people, I don't want to call their names, that he used. So Mbalula, when he loses position, he will frequent your house as often as you can imagine, to a point where even the cleaners can't differentiate whether he stays here or he doesn't stay here. Once he gets a position, the first people to reject are the people he spent sleepless nights with. And I've got a long list of such people. Even now, don't think that even Mbalula gets outvoted as the Secretary General of the ANC, he will not reach out to me or to any of the people he's not talking to now. Every time he gets into power, some drunkenness overpowers him, and he doesn't take the people he lives with, his own people, serious. So he uses people and then dump them like that. And I've known, I mean, when we formed the EFF, Mbalula discarded us, never wanted anything to do with us. And then when he now started wanting to be the Secretary General of the ANC, he came back to me. We were spending the days and nights together. Even when he went to Nazareth to be elected Secretary General, we were speaking day in, day out, came back to the conference, was in my space, and all of that. Once he assumed that position, he started now calling us names. And because some people said Malema made his match in Mbalula and nothing went into his crazy head. But always when there are tensions between me and Mbalula, for whatever reason, when we meet, we have always been cordial. Until I met him now at Prince Mangosuthu Hotel's funeral, I could sense the tension because he came greeting everybody, and when he came to greeting me, he doubted whether he must come greet me, and I know him when he doesn't like people. So I could see that now we've reached the real point of disliking each other, and I don't care about it. He can go. So I don't care. And I'm the one who said to him there at Prince Mangosuthu, he wanted to avoid Msholos. I said, greet Msholos. And I went to greet Msholos. So he's personal like that. He's childish like that. He thinks that power never comes to an end. But what does he do with power? What does he do? I mean, he's nothing that there is nothing that you can say, oh, this guy is in power, and therefore because he's in power, I won't get 1, 2, 3. He won't block anything for you. He won't do anything for you. So he can as well just enjoy that power. We don't care about it.
What if he becomes the next president? Because he's very close with the office that he has, at least through the ANC. I mean, in the next conference, he can become a president if he wants.
That is their own thing. We really don't care whether he becomes president or he doesn't become president. He's a Secretary General now. And they said he's going to restore the ANC and he's going to make sure the ANC gets its 2/3 majority and its majority in the next elections. Let's see that. Let's see that, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're going to fight them bitterly with or without Mbalula. If anything, it is Mbalula who's going to discredit the last remaining smaller dignity of the ANC.
One thing that stood out for me is Julius Malema describing Fikile Mbalula as someone who uses other people. Like he is a person that will use you when he needs you, and then after he needs you, he will discard of you. And of course, you would understand that Fikile Mbalula must feel some type of a way in terms of jealousy towards Julius Malema, because when Julius Malema started, everyone thought that the EFF was not going to amount to anything. But after 10 years of the EFF, people can now see that, wow, the EFF has taken over. And I'm telling you right now, the race of the presidential seat is going to be between Julius Malema and Fikile Mbalula in 2029. Not next year, in 2029. Next year, I know people don't want to accept this, but next year, I'm still predicting that the ANC, with all of these parties, how many parties registered now? I think 30 something parties registered to run for the election. I think the ANC might still be able to get that 50%. We don't want that in South Africa. I hope I'm wrong. But with the EFF coming from 1.9 million votes, 1.8 million votes in the last election, I don't see them tripling or fourpling that, or I do see them tripling it to maybe um, 6 million people voting for the EFF, but I don't see them getting more votes than the ANC. I can see a situation where South Africa is still has Cyril Ramaphosa as the president for the next 4 years. God help us, that must not happen. Yo, Nkosi yami. Yo, I don't know what I would do, if we should have Cyril Ramaphosa as the president again for the next 4 years. Yo, because remember, votes are bought via food parcel, via promising people jobs, via promising people tenders, so there's people with added interest, hidden interest for the ANC to win, and some of them are the most powerful people. That's why you have seen the IEC headquarters vandalized, and they are saying they might not be ready by next year. You're starting to see stories in South Africa, and as aggressive and as militant as the EFF is, we might have disputed results and fights happening next year. But let's save that story for next year. Fikile Mbalula and Julius Malema, leave these two guys to play out their beef, ladies and gentlemen. These were two friends. These were two friends going together everywhere, sleeping at each other's houses, strategizing about politics, loving politics, grew up together in politics. What is happening between them is one friend hating the other because of whatever reason it may be, but it's nothing to for us to actually entertain and take home with, because what is happening between them is political strategy. For me, what is interesting is going to see who's going to use this former relationship that they have as an advantage to counter the others' political strategies. Fikile Mbalula knows Julius Malema so well. It is him who's supposed to be countering everything that the EFF does, but he's dragging his feet. Julius Malema knows Fikile Mbalula so much to the point where he feels like he's not intimidated about Fikile Mbalula. Is that a right tactic to implement? I don't think so. But we will have to see what is going to happen in the future between these two. But I'm telling you, one of these two are going to be president first, are going to be president for sure in South Africa. For sure, it's going to be Fikile Mbalula or Julius Malema next. There won't be any other president. I promise you guys, these are the two guys that will be running for the presidential seat in 2029. Should the EFF not get that seat next year in 2024. So tell me, what do you think? Do you enjoy their entertainment, the way they are talking about each other and everything? Because you can see how passionate they are when they speak about one another, especially Julius Malema, who's always so very articulate when he speaks about anything. But when he speaks about Fikile Mbalula, you can see it comes from a deeper place when you analyze his body language and his facial expression. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Until we meet next time. Let me see. What are we doing, guys? Let's do African news tomorrow, and let's continue with loving each other. Continue with praying for each other. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray, and just know your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Maleneng salutes you.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy the content, leave your thoughts on the comment section and hit the like and subscribe button, and we will meet on the next one.